Hi, I'm Trish. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here to cook with me today. I love to cook. This is my love language. And today, with it being a little gloomy out and I'm expecting guests a little bit later, it's nice to have an aroma of something warm and welcoming when people walk into the house. I'm also a fan of cleaning out the fridge and using up everything that could potentially go bad so that I don't have to waste anything. This is a recipe I kind of borrowed from my friend Stacia and also made up myself. So she showed me a picture of something that looked amazing and she shared the recipe. And I thought, I'll make it my way. So I am going to make some bean soup with you today. And I've got some leftover carrots. We're going to finish up this bag and go buy a new one. And I will start with slicing up these carrots, and we'll just chit chat while I do this. I've got my soup pot out, and this bean soup does take a long time to cook. I know Stacia put hers on the stovetop for about 6 hours and let it simmer, and that really lets the flavors kind of meld together and the beans really absorb the other flavors that you put in there. I like doing hospitality. I think it's kind of fun to have new people come and visit. It's a lot of work. I have to make sure that my house is 100% a lot. Like, not just sometimes, like all the time, because you never know when people are going to be stopping by or making a reservation or spending the night. So we've got to always have our bathrooms in good order, and there's a lot of laundry. I've watched the show Ghosts, and I'm amused that it's all about standing at the desk and passing out cookies and talking to the ghosts that the husband can't see. And it's not about fixing clogged toilets and laundry, which is the reality of running a hospitality business. That and planning endless groceries and menus. So, oh well, it's a work of fiction. I'm slicing up this onion, and because my diet is plant-based, I am going to use a fake chicken. I use unmeat, and it's plant-based, but it's kind of the same texture as chicken, I think. I'm not sure how it compares taste-wise. So I'm going to open a can of that, and this is going to go in a fry pan together. Meanwhile, I'm going to put the beans in. So these are cannellini beans. I am going to drain these, and they're kind of oily. I think I'm going to rinse them too. Okay, I've got my rinsed beans. If there are parts of this that don't suit you, leave it out or use what does suit you. Fake chicken isn't for everybody, and I get that. So beans give it good protein, and you could just go with that, or you can add real chicken if that's what you prefer. This is 4 cups of vegetable broth. I have half a brick of cream cheese, because yum. So we're gonna throw that in there. This is kind of my garbage pile over here. And I've got a can of green chilies. Green chilies are not spicy. I thought everyone knew that, but actually a friend of mine was visiting and was a little nervous to try it. They're very mild. I would say even a green pepper is spicier than a green chili. So we'll put that in there too. And then I do like a little bit of spice in my soup and my food in general. This is cayenne pepper, and I'm going to put a little sprinkle of that in, because I find that if I use a little more heat, I use less salt. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but it's definitely true for me. This is coriander seed. Oh, coriander just has such a magical smell to it. Oh, it's so good. I'm putting in about a teaspoon, And I'm guesstimating because I've cooked for 30 years. This is fenugreek. If you haven't tried this, you should. We'll just do a little sprinkle of that. Now, I don't know why we're adding oregano, but Stacia's recipe had oregano in it, so I'm going to do it. Maybe they know something I don't. And finally, I've got ground cumin. This gives it a little bit of an Indian flair. I'm going to use about half a teaspoon. Makes it smell healthy. Okay, that's everything I need to get my soup base started. So I'm going to put this on the burner on very low heat, and then I'm going to take my fake chicken and my onion and I'm going to saute that and add it to the pot. Okay, pretend like you didn't just see that cream cheese that I added to the soup base. I am trying to be a little bit healthier, so I'm going to use olive oil today to fry up my chicken and my onions. It isn't about perfection, it's about effort. I feel like as long as I'm making an effort, I'm doing okay. So we'll add our pretend chicken. If you're a person who likes to use real chicken, you can get a rotisserie chicken and pull that apart and use that instead. We'll give this a minute to get warm. Okay, this has had about 5 minutes to saute, and it's just about where I like it. The onions are soft and they're translucent, and the meat is starting to get a little bit of brown on it. So I think at this point, we will add it to the soup base. This is our soup base. It doesn't look impressive, I know. But in all fairness, it does require some time. So we're going to give this about 6 hours to go ahead and simmer and let all these flavors meld together, become a little bit creamier. And I am going to go make beds, vacuum, and clean my bathrooms. It's not exciting, but it is the reality. We'll check back in a few. Now I've got one more step before I'm ready to call this soup done. I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch to cold water. We want to make sure that it's cold so that it doesn't form lumps. We'll make a slurry. Make sure there isn't any sticking to the bottom. And it almost looks like milk, doesn't it? We're going to add this to our bean soup, and it will give us a thicker and heartier base. It isn't necessary, but it is something I enjoy. Here's our bean soup, and it's on low. And I'm going to add the cornstarch and water, just a little bit at a time. I'm also going to turn the heat up a little bit. This is going to make it a really creamy and give it maybe even a gravy consistency. Here's our beautiful finished work of art. It was so worth waiting for. It's packed with veggies and protein, and it's the perfect ending to a long week. I hope you make this, and I hope you love it. Bon appetit!